Hello class, Dr. O. We're in week 3, talking about policy analysis and alternatives and public awareness. I'll get right to it. How do you as a citizen draw conclusions about public policy? To be honest, normally if it doesn't affect me, my family or friends, I would not look into it. I would probably read about it if it's a national issue, a national problem, or a national agenda. Some of the things that I would start analyzing about a public policy is if it affects me and my family or friends, my money, my employment. Does it affect the community that I live in or nearby? Does it affect the state? Does it affect the standards of living or the health that affects the family or friends? So that's when I really start looking and drawing conclusions about it. How does it affect me in one of those ways? Where do I normally get my information from? Normally, if I don't see it on Google or Yahoo on my homepage on the internet, then probably when I hear about it in the news. I usually watch the news every evening, also in the mornings before I go to work. In the evening, I would watch all the headline news at nighttime: ABC, CBS, NBC. I would also look into CNN, Fox, HLN, headline news, some of the top stories. If it's something that attracts my attention and I know it's going to affect me, then I would dig more into it. I'll probably go ahead into the internet and research a little bit more to see what's the in and outs about it. 20/20 and 48 Hours are also shows that I watch, and a lot of times they talk about national policies and agendas that affect the nation. So where do policy analysts get their information from? If I was a policy analyst, the first place I would want to, and I know they're probably doing it, is get the writings, get the ink on paper that's coming out of Congress, from the Senate, the House, and the presidential legislatives, what it is they're trying to propose, what are their agendas. A lot of the analytical data research has already been done prior to the proposals and to the writings. So in the Senate they have, and also in the House, they have committees and subcommittees that debate, analyze, and review all these agendas. So as a policy analyst, that's where I would want to be at, or listen to those committees through C-SPAN, which is a good channel to hear a lot of the debates on policy analysis and review. I've been on that channel before, and I've heard a lot of the military debates that they've had in the committees. It's a good place for them to get information. Once the policy analyst has gathered that information in writing, then another second place that they should go into, and they probably do, I know they do, is go into all the .org, .gov type of internet web pages. Get a lot of the data, background data that's already been researched. For example, if it's a health issue, then you want to go into a lot of the health organizations, depending on what topic it is. If it's gun violence, you want to go into the different web pages that have done research, data, background on gun violence in the cities, by states, what the educational side thinks about it, Department of Justice, all those different think tanks. They have gathered all the information. I will grab all that data, get the writings from the committees, from the Senate, from the House, from the President, kind of get all that together, and then provide my policy analyst review on that information. So on gun violence in school, is putting armed officers in school cost effective, a good policy? I believe not, and the reason I say that is because I don't think it's sustainable. Costs a lot of money to have officers in school. I know growing up in the LA district, we had officers in school from the sheriff department, and we also had the private security guards at the school. I don't think the security guard was enough, so they brought in the sheriff's department and local LA police department. Not all the schools do it. I'm not sure where the money comes from to support them. I know the sheriff or LA police officer are probably getting extra money, or that's their place of duty to be at. So how do you go about it? I would probably get the schools involved. I would get the law enforcement involved, communities, people live in those schools are going to be supporting the program. I would also get the not only the educators but the students that are involved in those schools that are getting those the law enforcement officers in their school. I would also involve state officials and community officials. See how they're going to support the program, how is it going to get paid, and if all those people are involved, then come up with a good alternative solution to having law enforcement officers in school. It's feasible, it's effective, it works. I've seen it, but it's not sustainable. I mean, unless you're willing to pay money the long way down the road, forever, pretty much. I'm sure there's other ways of doing it. So that's my first part, my first clip for policy analysis. Thank you, everybody, and I am out.